Okay, here's your temix 25 plug and play unit. Twin gun model, one mounted to each side. It's pretty much ready to go. Now, what you need to do is hook it up to a water supply first of all. We've supplied, it'll be inside this box, a 1/2 inch female fitting for a cold water tap. Please make sure it's cold water. If it's hot water, we will end up with problems. So just hook that up to your cold water tap, bit of plumber's tape. Then, using the provided 10mm hose, simply push this end into the push-in fitting. No clamps required, as far as you like. Run that hose to the machine, cut it to size, and put it into the other push-in fitting here. That's all there is for the water. Next, you need to attach a gas bottle. Gas regulator. It just hand tightens onto a bottle, don't use any tools. Tighten it up nice and firmly. Once it's on nice and firmly, turn the gas bottle on. These two gauges will not move. This one over here is what's in your bottle. It should go up to the green for a full gas bottle. Next, these two have to be set. This one over here, which is marked at 40 psi and has a little line at 40 psi, is your syrup pumps, which are on the back, which pump the syrup from the box up to the gun. This one over here, which is carbonator, which says 80 psi and is marked at 80 psi, that puts your bubbles in your soft drink. These need to be set. Simply, after the bottle's attached and turned on, get a flathead screwdriver and wind these in clockwise until they reach this one 40 psi and this one 80 psi. Then there's a little lock nut on the bottom, just underneath here, which you screw down in place to keep it in place. Now, a little bit further down, there are two shut-off valves. This will make sure none of the gas goes through to the machine because we're not quite ready for that yet. But you can still set these up and attach it to the gas bottle and turn the gas bottle on for now. Next step is to plug it in. Standard 10 amp power point. Plug it in, turn the power point on. On the front of the machine, there is a power button. Don't turn this on just yet. What we need to do is fill this machine. Inside this machine, whole heap of coils and everything. Now, we need to fill this machine with water. Cold water's the best, just takes less time. Just to the top of those copper coils. The copper coils are your refrigeration. The stainless steel coils are what all the drinks run through. So, if you overfill it, water will come out this overflow valve, which can be left as it is. Hook up a bit of this piping to a bucket or a drain if you like. If water continuously comes out of here on a regular basis, then there's a leak and you need to contact us so we can help you fix that up. But if you're just filling it up, it might just be that we've put too much water in it. So once that's filled with water, we can come down here and turn your power on. Directly above the power, there is a thermostat control. It's not set to full yet. We usually set it to around here. What we're after is about 1 inch of ice around the entire outside of the machine. If you're in a hotter climate, you can turn it up. Colder climate, turn it down. But where it's set now should pretty much do the job. Next step is to plug in your syrups. 6 syrup lines. Now, you'll notice there's 2 shorter, 2 middle, and 2 longer. Obviously, the 2 shorter goes closer to the machine. Then you've got the middle, then you've got the bottom. At the moment, they're set on the right-hand side, but they're attached to the syrup pumps at the back, so that can quite easily be moved over to the left if you want to go that way. So it depends on which side you're just putting the syrups to the machine. That is the basic setup. There is another step, but so far you've got the water attached, you've got the gas bottle attached, you've got your syrups attached, your machine's full of liquid, and turned on. Once you get to this step, you can turn on the shut-off valves for both of these. That will initiate the syrup pump, so you'll hear a tisk, 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 tisk noise, which will be the syrups pumping from the box up to the gun. And getting everything ready. The next step is to grab one of your guns And I'd run about 5 litres of soda water through each gun. That just primes the unit, gets it ready. After that, hold down the syrup buttons on each of the guns until the syrup comes out. Basically, there'll be air bubbles in the line because it's all been cleaned out and emptied after the testing. So now we need to get all the syrup up to the gun, ready to dispense, with no air bubbles on both lines. Once syrup's coming out of both guns, we really need to wait at this point. This machine needs around 3 hours to get down to temperature before we do the next step. Warm post mix is flat post mix, so the post mix needs to be dispensed at below 4 degrees. Above 4 degrees is where it starts to go flat. Ideal dispensing temperature is about 2 degrees. That's why if you put ice in the cup beforehand, it will keep the drink colder and keep it icier and fresher longer. However, if you put ice in the cup and pour warm post mix into it, it will be flat before the post mix gets from the gun to the ice. It needs to be cold under pressure. So what we do is we wait until the machine's cooled down, give it 3 hours. Then there is a few final settings. Oh, I should mention, coming in this box will be this fitting, and there are 2 gun holders. So these just need to be put together. The rubber insert goes inside the hard plastic and gets screwed up underneath the bench. This just is a holder for your dispensing guns. There is a hose there as an option. Some people like that. That can be run to a bucket or a drain. That way any drips that come out of the gun get taken care of. But this is the next step. Once the machine's cold, we need to brix it. Now there is an entire video on that, but just quickly, what we do is we take this. This is a new nozzle. We remove this nozzle by twisting it and pulling it off and replace it with this nozzle. Once we've done that, we hold down the soda water button and ensure soda water only comes out of this hole. If soda water comes out of both holes, that this foam insert might have gone sideways or it might not be on properly, but we need to do it so only soda comes out of this one. And then we want the syrup to come out of this one. Then we set the gun up so that we're using the round hole, not the oval hole. We put the syrup nozzle into the small hole and the soda water nozzle into the larger one. First thing we do is we press the soda water button and count to 3. 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. At that point, what we want is around 150 mils of, 100 mils of soda water in this cup, which is, let me show you. Sorry about that, I had to do a quick conversion. These cups are made in the US, so they're in ounces. But look, aim for around 4 ounces in the 3 seconds. If it's a little bit more, if it goes up to 5, that's fine. I wouldn't aim for too much less or too much more. Too much less and it's just going to take forever to dispense. Too much more and you're going to lose a bit of your bubbles. Now, what you've got on the side of the gun here is adjustment knobs and a key. This key shows all the button positions and what numbers they relate to. For example, soda water is number 5. So we find 5 here and come down. So this knob here is your adjustment for the soda water. So if you want to put more soda water in the cup, you screw it out. You want to put less soda water in the cup, you screw it in. So now we've got the soda water setting. The soda water we always do first because all the flavors are actually mixed with soda water, except your orange juice, because no one wants fizzy orange juice. So we set the soda first and then we leave it with the orange juice. it is set with water, and we want the water pressure as high as possible. Now the water pressure, there is no boosts or pumps or anything like that. It is your own water pressure from your tap. It is restricted because it goes through the water filter, and then it goes through a whole heap of 6mm lines. So there are restrictions on it which slow it down, but there are no booster pumps or anything like that. Soda water is obviously, there's a booster motor in there to pressurize it into the carbonator. There's also gas which boosts the pressure as well. However, the water just works on your water pressure out of your tap. Now, I do the same thing, but what I do is I turn it up as fast as possible. So now if you wind these screws out too far, they will come out and they will start to leak. First of all, they'll start to leak. So don't wind them out past the end of the thread, which is, well, the top here. So don't wind it out past the top of the fitting. But I'd wind that out and get the absolute fastest you can out of your water supply, because it's always going to come out slower than your soda water. Once that's done, you've then got the 6 flavors, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. Once again, they're all marked there. For example, the top right button, which will be your Coke button, is over here at 8. So to set that, we've already set the soda water. So we get the gun, it'll have the new nozzle on it. 1 second, I'll change that over. There we go, that was in real time. So it'll look like that. You then put it in like that and press the Coke button. The syrup will fill up on this side and the soda water will fill up on this side. What we do is we then look at it, and what we want is we want to get the soda water and the water to be at the same level, or very close to the same level. As they come now, you'll find that it'll put a lot more syrup than soda water in. So what we have to do is we come over to here and we wind this in. What I usually do, waste a little bit, but I get the gun, hold it in one hand and put it over a empty waste bucket. And as I'm turning the adjustment knob, I can actually see the flow slowing down, and once it's slowed down enough that you think it's right, try it and see where it's at. You might have to do this a few times to get it accurate. Once again, it doesn't have to be spot on perfect, but as long as it's in a little bit either way, it should be fine. Closer the better though. This needs to be done with all 6 flavors, and the process has to be done on both guns. It should take you maybe half an hour. It's the most fiddly part of this entire machine, but once it's done, this machine will be right to use. Now, we do recommend you test it, go through, you probably won't have to readjust everything, but at least go through and test both guns every 3 to 6 months, or if you ever think that it doesn't taste quite right. Sometimes these fittings can move, they can be bumped, and they just need to be tweaked. So put this cup and syrup separator somewhere safe for future use. But once that's done, this machine is ready to go.